Hello, I'm David Liesenfeld, pastor of Rock Valley Christian Church here in Murrieta, California, and also pastor at Oakstone Christian Church in Dallas, Texas. And I'm here actually in Murrieta today in a beautiful area that just 6 months ago completely burned down. I live right over here in a house, and we had to be in our house, and then the government came by and said, we had a mandatory evacuation. Everybody was supposed to get out of their house and leave the neighborhood. And once we left, we weren't allowed to come back to our house for days. So it's kind of odd right now going through a circumstance just 6 months later where the government has said, now we want you in your house and don't leave your house. You need to shelter in place. And I can tell you that sheltering in place has given me a whole new respect for Noah. I mean, I can't even imagine what it was like to be in an ark with his family and all those animals for a year. And here I am 3 days into it, wanting to get out and go back to my office and go back to the church and just get out and get some fresh air. What an ordeal he had. But you know, it's times like this when we go through circumstances we've never experienced before, when we go through something that's so different, it brings so much impactful change to our lives, where there's a lot of news that can be very scary to us, where there are financial crises, where you probably know people getting laid off. Here this week, we heard 3.3 million people filed for unemployment this week. And you go through a lot of uncertainty because of what decisions have been made by the government, the decisions to be in your house, and just where you are in life. And sometimes you can almost feel like you're in a prison. Like you have this cabin fever, you feel like you're kind of stuck, and so many things are happening outside of your control. You don't really know what to do with that. Well, since we had this forced pause upon our lives, where we're not out and about and going to large gatherings anymore, what about taking this time to reconnect with the only one who can truly give you freedom? The God who gives liberty and life, who gave life to us through Jesus Christ, and to know that where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. And when you turn to God, you find that there is a life in Him. There is hope and meaning in who He is and in what He's called us and put us on this earth to do. And to realize that even through being stuck in our houses, being sheltering in place, and just basically being infringed upon the free coming and going and the liberty that we're used to experiencing, that we can actually find a liberty right where we are. See, just because we're able to move around doesn't mean we're free. And just because we might be more stuck in our homes these days doesn't mean we're imprisoned. Because where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty and there's freedom. There can be an appreciation for life, and there can be a welling up of just newness and joy and love for one another and of consideration, because God is our hope. He is our foundation and He is our freedom, and we find that in Him. So why don't we take this pause? And I just want to encourage you to take the pause to just connect with God till you come to the place where you, in your heart and in your mind, are free, that you're not in prison, and you realize there is a liberty in Jesus. He saved me from my sins, He saved me from death, and He's brought me back to my Father in heaven. And there's no place I want to be but with Him. He is my portion, He is my life, He is my provision, and He is my health. He is my God.